Hey guys, for today's video we have a very chill, very low-key, relaxed, no makeup kind of makeup situation going on. I'm gonna actually be showing you guys how to get your brows to go from this. This is my bad brow, it's bushy, she's hairy, she's out of shape, and she's gross. I'm gonna show you guys how to get from this to this. The thing that kind of inspired this video for me was I told you guys I had a really bad experience at a brow salon that like ruined my brows. They were bad, to say the least. I always get so frustrated with my brows when I have to let them grow in, or they're bushy, or they're too thick, because you guys know I like a very sharp, clean, really defined brow. That's how I've been for as long as I can remember. I've never been a thick, bushy brow kind of girl. I like that sharp, defined brow. And even when my brows are growing in, or they're bushy, or they're just like too thick at the moment, I'm growing them in to reshape them, I still try to give myself that sharp look. And you just can't do that when you have brows that are this thick and you're growing them in, you know? I wanted to share with you guys how I kind of embrace the bushy brow, just for the time being while we're waiting for our wax appointment. I'm actually getting my brows done later on tonight. So I was like, let me go ahead and film this video, because even if you don't like a thin brow, even if you don't want like a super defined brow and you like a thicker, bushier brow, but you're having trouble kind of filling it in, or you're in a situation like me where you're growing your brows in, I'm gonna show you guys how I fill in my bushy brows and to how to kind of embrace the bushiness. Whether you have bushy brows or you're just growing them in, I'm gonna show you guys how to get it done. Okay, let's jump into the video. A brow pencil is gonna be your best friend with bushy brows. This is just my opinion, of course, but I don't like to use a pomade because pomades can be kind of harsh. They can be just a little too much for me when I'm going for like that bushy brow type of look, because they're just intense. That's just how pomades are. Brow pencils are a little bit softer, so I always go in with a pencil, especially when my brows are like super thick. I want to keep it just a little bit more on the softer side. My brows never match 100%, okay? Whoever has the perfect brows that are always 100% matching, I don't know what type of dark magic they're dabbling in, but that's just not me, okay? So it's okay if they don't match 100%. We're gonna get them as best as we can. So we're gonna start first by outlining, okay? Start down here. You can see I have all these little baby hairs that are growing in the front. I don't fill these in because then my brows will be too thick in the front and they're gonna look too boxy. I like my brows a little bit more thin in the front versus like thick boxes, you know? So we're gonna go in and clean those up with concealer. I did that over here. You can see they look a little bit better, but I'm just gonna go ahead and match this to this side. So I always go a little bit higher because I know I'm gonna go in and clean them up. So we're just gonna start outlining first. For this, I like to use a thin brow pencil like this. This one is from Covergirl. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. This is just a really precise brow pencil. This helps me like do the exact shape that I want. So we're gonna do like light strokes. You don't want to press too hard because then it will be too harsh. So this brow also is naturally thicker than this brow. This one is just always thin. I don't know why. She never wants to grow. But you can see like how I filled this one in. It's thicker than what I normally do, but because we're kind of embracing the bushiness, I kind of filled in these sparser areas down here. So I'm gonna do the same thing over here. You can see I have all these like, you know, hairs that grew in. I'm just gonna go a little bit thicker than what I normally would, but I'm gonna go with light strokes because we don't want it to be too harsh, okay? I also like to extend my brows a little bit longer because my brows are kind of short. I like them a little bit longer, and that's all I'm gonna do. I start by outlining the bottom shape. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and start outlining the top. I don't have a lot of hair in the front of this brow, and I have a ton of hair in the front of this one. So I'm just gonna kind of eyeball. I'm gonna match this to this, and I'm not gonna do too much in the front because I'm gonna go in and use a brow gel. You guys will see in just a second, but I'm just gonna kind of do like a little bit of a shape just to kind of help guide me, just like that. And then this brow, like I don't have a lot of hair up here versus this one I have a ton of hair, so I'm just gonna kind of create little hair-like strokes. It's okay if you get a little bit messy. I'll just wipe off my brows. This is also why I like to do my brows before foundation, because it takes me so long to do my brows because they're just naturally uneven. They don't grow in evenly. For me, I don't have a lot of hair in here, but the arch of this brow is higher than this one. This one has hair up here, but this brow has a higher arch than this one. So I kind of have to create an arch here, but then on this, I have to kind of create the front part of the brow. This is why I also like to do my brows first, because if I have foundation and everything on, I end up wiping off my brows. Sometimes I have to go in and just kind of like wipe it off like that. I have to clean it up with concealer because I just have to like kind of create a shape to my brows since they don't have a lot of shape. That's just a little tip if you have that issue as well. Maybe try doing your brows before your foundation, and then that way you don't mess up your foundation, you know? I know you guys can't see it, but I kind of like to rest my hand on my cheek right here, and it just kind of stabilizes my hand. So right here, we're just gonna do little hair-like strokes. And I'm just gonna fill the exact shape of this brow because this one is kind of a little bit more normal than the other one. I pretty much just have the outline done. I just want to make sure that they're pretty much even. This could probably be a little bit thicker down here because this one is a little thicker on this side. So I'm going to go down here, kind of fill in, just make it a little bit more thick just to make them a little more even. And then I think that looks pretty good as of right now. So what I'm going to do now is take my pencil and just very lightly fill this in. I don't want to go too heavy because I'm going to use a brow gel with some fibers in it to kind of help like plump them up a little bit more. So I'm just going to do like the very like areas just kind of where I need it, just very, very lightly. And I'm going to leave this front part bare. We're going to go in and do that at the end. So now what I'm going to do is clean up my brows. I'm going to take my little flat brush from Morphe, and then I took my Catrice concealer. This is the shade 020. This is my favorite concealer to clean up my brows. It's just like the perfect shade for me. It's creamy. I have a lot of work time with it. So I'm going to take this and we're just going to go ahead and very lightly kind of like outline the brow. This is going to help clean it up and then bring some highlight to the brow. Now, I don't go in super heavy with concealer. I don't like a lot of concealer in this area. To me, it's just a little too much. This is just going to help kind of like disguise all these crazy stragglers down here. I like this brush too because it's super precise, so it helps me really get in there. I actually like to take my finger and kind of blend it down. Kind of helps hide like some of that darkness on my eyelid as well, but I'm just gonna kind of blend it out with my finger, and then I'm gonna wipe off whatever is left over on my brush because I don't want to conceal anymore. Now I just kind of want to push the product and kind of make this side match this side a little bit better. Just make it look a little softer. I'm gonna go back in and just kind of thicken it right there. Just kind of make it match the thickness of this one. Again, I don't have any product on this brush. I already wiped it off. I'm just gonna go right up here and just kind of like define this area, but not really to sharpen the brow. I'm mostly doing it to kind of hide the hairs that have grown in. Also, the tail on this brow is thicker than the tail on this one, so I'll kind of try to thin this out a little bit more just to make them match a little bit better. This is from Benefit. It's called the Highbrow. It's like this like highlighting brow pencil. It doesn't have any shimmer or anything to it. When my brows are bushy, I don't put a shimmer underneath the arch of my brow like I normally do because it's just going to accentuate your hair. So I'll take something like this, and it's kind of like a pinkish creamy tone. I'll just go right there. It doesn't do a ton, but it does make a little bit of a difference. And then I'll just take that same flat brush and I'll just kind of brush it in, kind of blend it out just to make it look nice and even. I'm going to take my Essence Make Me Brow Gel. This is like one of my favorite fiber filling brow gels of all time. It's like $3. You can get it at Ulta. I stock up on these because I go through them so fast. So it has a little teeny tiny brush. It looks just like this. This is what I like to use to fill in the front of my brow. This is something that I really struggle with, is making my brows a little boxy. Like, it's very easy to do that, and I definitely have a tendency to do that more often than none. So I like to take something like this and just kind of fill in the front very lightly, just like that. I kind of got it right here, but I'll just go ahead and clean that up right there. But this just kind of helps keep your brows from getting too boxy. And then what I'll do is I'll just kind of take it and brush it through the rest of the brow. This is gonna help fill in any sparse areas that I missed. Kind of clean that up because I went a little heavy in the front right there. And then I'm gonna take my spoolie on the back of my brow brush and just kind of like brush this out and disperse it so it looks less boxy. It's a little more natural looking in the front. So this is what the brows look like at the very end. You can see like there's still the bushiness. I mean, there's nothing you can do to get rid of those hairs unless you get them done, but at least they look a little bit better than what they normally do, you know? This is the finished look of the bushy brows. This is what I do when I'm filling in my brows, especially when I'm growing them in, because as you guys know, I love a thin, a sharp, type of brow. That's just my vibe. So I hope this was helpful for you guys who are going through the same situation as me. Whether you're growing in your brows, you're trying to reshape them, and you're kind of like frustrated with them because you don't know how to really do them when they're just thick and there's hair everywhere. This is what I like to do to my brows to kind of help me get through until I get to my brow appointment. So whether you like bushy brows and you kind of don't know how to fill them in because they're too thick and you want to give them a shape while still keeping that bushiness, or if you're kind of in a situation like me where you're letting your brows grow in so you can get them reshaped, this is what I like to do. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what other types of videos you want to see. If you want to see like more like teaching type of videos or like how-to type of videos, just go ahead and leave it in the comments below and I would be more than happy to film that. Make sure you guys subscribe before you go. Hit the notification bell. Ooh, I have an itch. So you don't miss any of my videos, and I'll see you on my next one.